Let's start with the most important question of this entire course. What is a deed and what does it actually do? At its most basic level, a deed is a legal instrument that transfers ownership of real property from one person to another. That's it. It is the document that moves title. A deed is not a contract, it's not a loan document, it's not a tax document, and it's not evidence that money changed hands. A deed has one primary function: to convey ownership of real estate. Here's where confusion comes in. People often think a deed does more than it actually does. They assume it determines value, or responsibility for the mortgage, or property taxes, or who pays repairs. A deed really only answers one question: who owns the property and how do they own it? As a document preparer, your job is not to decide whether a property should be transferred. Your job is not to advise someone why they should choose one ownership structure over another. Your job is to accurately reflect the transfer the client has instructed in a way that is clear, recordable, and legally recognizable. A deed operates in the public record. Once it's recorded, it becomes part of the county's permanent real property records. It affects not just the current owners, but future buyers, lenders, title companies, heirs, and courts. Mistakes in deeds can cause long-term title problems that are expensive and difficult to fix. This deed does not eliminate a mortgage, change loan obligations, avoid probate automatically, protect assets from creditors, solve family disputes, or override court orders or divorce decrees. Those are legal consequences that may or may not flow from a transfer, but they are not created by the deed itself. This distinction is critical for ethical deed preparation. Why deeds are so powerful despite being so simple. Even though a deed is a relatively short document, it has enormous legal impact. With just a few lines of language, a deed can change survivorship rights, alter inheritance outcomes, trigger or avoid probate, create or destroy joint ownership, affect tax treatment later on. That's why precision matters so much, and why deed drafting is not something to rush or treat casually. If you remember nothing else from this lesson, remember this: a deed is a tool. It reflects intent. It does not create intent. Your role is to use that tool carefully, accurately, and within the limits of your authority. In the next section, we're going to talk about the people involved in that transfer, the grantor and the grantee, and why getting those roles right is absolutely foundational to every deed you will ever prepare. Let's move on.
This video is provided for general educational purposes only. It is not legal advice, and it does not take the place of advice from a qualified attorney. Laws and requirements vary by jurisdiction and by individual circumstances, and watching this video does not create an attorney-client relationship with Nevada Counsel. If you need guidance about your specific situation, you should consult a licensed attorney in your jurisdiction. Thanks for learning with us.